Hello. Welcome to day... what is it? Day 5 already of this whole entire thing. Day 5, therefore task... what was it? 11? 10? Let me actually make sure before I say the wrong numbers. I will say, this one is going to be an interesting one. We may not actually be able to finish this one. Because of the way they've done it. And I really, honestly, at this point, can't really blame them for it. They've done the really interesting thing where, number 11. They've done this really interesting thing where they have you play with a DOS box, like a really old style disk operating system box, the one that started it all for Windows, as it were. And while it is absolutely possible to make that accessible, not easy. You'd need to write binaries for like JAWS for DOS or other things like that, and those are not easy to come by. So yeah, it's understandable that this is in the state that it's in. We're going to do our best. I do have what I believe is the correct flag handy in case we do get completely stuck, and if that's not the correct flag, then I'll have to maybe have to do it off screen depending on how far we get. But let's just be optimistic. I'm starting the attack machine as we go. That's currently loading. So I actually did a couple of things because I wanted to look into some of the other accessibility issues that you might run into with this kind of challenge in general, and there's a few that they can actually fix. For one, it does appear that the Windows boxes don't have an audio device installed for some reason I can't fathom. So even if you were to RDP in with Windows Remote Desktop or another RDP client which supports audio, you would be able to turn on the Windows built-in screen reader narrator, but it doesn't actually speak because there's no audio device to speak through. I was honestly a little surprised when I saw that. My next trick was going to be trying to sneak a version of NVDA on there that's a screen reader that's open source, which has a capability of being essentially a remote control endpoint. But it appears that file uploads are disabled, at least for this room. I'm not sure if that's common for all Windows machines, but in this case I couldn't get it to work, so that didn't work either. So honestly, what we have to work with here is OCR and AI all the way through, basically. And essentially our knowledge of how standard these things usually work. As in, you know, Control Home takes you all the way to the top left, and then you can sort of guesstimate where you need to go from there. Not ideal by any stretch of the imagination, but it does work. It's doable. I also like that I don't have to worry about having multiple screens open in this particular case because, well, we don't need that. There's no... I could do this with RDP, but there's no real better way of doing that. So I may as well just do the web version. It's going to be equally inaccessible, so I'm going to take it easy and just do it like that. I'll give the permission that it's asking for. There. So now this is up. That means we can dismiss it here. And what I mean is by this is up, essentially the machine opened the new tab just now, which means I can dismiss the split screen off this tab, and we have a full screen on the actual text and the stuff that I'm going to read in a minute. So yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. Let's hope we get as far as we normally do. Let's hope we don't get run to the ground, and let's just see how far we get here. I'll scroll up. Here we are. All right. We went a little bit too far. Yeah, here we are. So, task 11, day 5, reverse engineering a Christmas DOS covery, tapes of Yuletide past. Very, very clever with all the puns here. Okay. This story. Task banner for day 1. This says task banner for day 1. They screwed up the alt text here. I'm amused. Okay. The backup tapes have finally been recovered after the team successfully hacked the server room door. That was us yesterday. However, as fate would have it, the internal tool for recovering the backups can't seem to read them. While pouring through the tool's documentation, you discover that an old version of this tool can troubleshoot problems with the backup. But the problem is that version only runs on DOS, Disk Operating System. Thankfully, tucked away in the back of the IT room, covered in cobwebs, sits an old yellowing computer, complete with a CRT monitor and a keyboard. With a jab of the power button, the machine beeps to life, and you are greeted with the DOS prompt. There you go. It beeped to life. Okay, we have a graphic with the alt text restoring backups in DOS. Frosto, who is with you in the room, hears the beep and heads straight over to the machine. The snowman positions himself in front of it giddily. I haven't used these things in a long time. He hovers his hands over the keyboard, ready to type, but hesitates. He lifts his newly installed mechanical arm, looks at the fat and stubby metallic fingers, and sighs. You take the helm, he says, looking at you, smiling but looking embarrassed. I'll guide you. You insert a copy of the backup tapes into the machine and start exploring. Learning objectives. Experience how to navigate an unfamiliar legacy system. Learn about DOS and its connection to its contemporary, the Windows command prompt. Discover the significance of file signatures and magic bytes in data recovery and file system analysis. So yeah, that's what we're doing. There is like a VM with it. The way they've done this, and this is something I should also go into real quick, and why this is so hard. Screen readers, honestly, the screen reader is a bit of a misnomer. It doesn't really read the screen as such. It reads, I guess call them accessibility APIs. It can query things in the current OS that it's running in, and then ask, what is this? Is this a button? Is this a link? What is this? And that works fine. Things start getting more murky when you essentially leave the OS for, say, a guest operating system in a virtual machine. At that point, the screen reader has no idea what you're doing. Like, you're in a completely different computer. Therefore, the screen reader can't actually perceive anything within that whole entire process. Maybe it'll change at some point, but for the moment, that's just how it works. So if you have a virtual machine that you need to screen read on, then you need to have a screen reader on that virtual machine. And the screen reader isn't going to know that it's on a virtual machine, pretty much like any other application works on a VM. What they've done here is, for all intents and purposes, a VM within a VM. Excuse me for a second here. There we go. So the tricky bit here is that we have a VM within a VM. It's a VMception for all intents and purposes, and the Windows machine doesn't give sound, so we can't use a screen reader on that. And the DOSBox X thing that we're going to use in a second doesn't have a screen reader installed whatsoever, nor can we really install one. So that's why this is so tricky. We essentially have to work with snapping pictures of the screen and asking questions about them or OCRing them, which gets us relatively far, but not super far. Also, I have to make sure that I wiggle this around a little bit now and again, because otherwise it literally disconnects on me. I've played with this a little bit to prepare for this video, and it crashed on me like 3 times. Alright. So that's enough waffling on. Let's continue. Overview. Graphic, restoring backups to the OS. The disk operating system was a dominant operating system during the early days of personal computing. Microsoft tweaked a DOS variant and rebranded it as MS-DOS, which later served as the groundwork for their graphical extension, the initial version of Windows OS. The fundamentals of file management, directory structures, and command syntax in DOS have stood the test of time and can be found in the command prompt and PowerShell of modern-day Windows systems. While the likelihood of needing to work with DOS in the real world is low, exploring this unfamiliar system can still be a valuable learning opportunity. Connecting to the machine. Before moving forward, review the questions in the connection card shown below. Okay, that's the connection card that now have alt text. It says day 5, what should I do today? Connection card details, start the target machine, a thmlabs.com direct link is available, and credentials are provided for RDP, VNC, or SSH directly into the machine. Fair enough. I don't really know what they mean by that direct link. I'm assuming they mean that you can open it in a separate tab, because there is no real web application running here. But that's apparently on the card. I'm not sure why. There is definitely RDP credentials. We just really don't have any use for them at this point. Start the virtual machine in split screen view by clicking on the green Start Machine button on the upper right section of this task. I've already done that. If the VM is not visible, use the blue Show Split View button at the top right of the page. Alternatively, you can connect to the VM using the credentials below via remote desktop. Yeah, I tried this. Note, on first sign into the box, Windows unhelpfully changes the credentials. If you lose the connection, relogging won't work. In that case, please restart your VM to regain access. I've seen that happen. I think they actually added that recently. Username, administrator, password, mangled way to spell the word password with a 0 and an exclamation point at the end. IP, 10.10.199.61. We may need that IP later, but I really don't think so, because we don't need to talk to this machine. We are on this machine, so it's just there, kinda. Once the machine is fully booted up, double-click on the DOSBox X icon found on the desktop to run the DOS emulator. After that, you will be presented with a welcome screen in the DOS environment. Now, that's our first challenge. We're going to have to click that. Let's see if we can make that happen. I'm going to actually use my... first turn this off. I'm going to use my screen reader's speech in this case and show you just how sort of laborious this is. But we should be able to eventually get there. Let's try. Now, there's also a what we call an NVDA speech viewer on the screen, so we're going to get a lot of extraneous output that normally wouldn't be here. But that's just the nature of the beast when I'm trying to screencast and also make you guys see what the screen reader is saying. Okay, here we go.
Speech mode, TryHackMe clip in. DOS 80 bullet ZNV, DOS 80XX.
Okay, it says DOS 80X-X. That is actually the DOS box icon.
Yes.
We're going to have to click that and then double click it and hope it worked.
Blank. TryHack desktop no containing of record. TryHack bullet Z result document. Already in the content rec speech try icon from the Frosty Plains. Icon to Antarctic Crafts.
Welcome to Antarctic Crafts.
Companion and carving. From the Frosty Plains.
From the Frosty
Plains. Forecast of blizzard. Tech heartbeat. Smileless across the South Pole of ideas and globe. Clip in. DOS 80XX. Bullet ZWDA DOS 80XX. Left click. Blank.
Okay, blank. So yeah, that's really what we're getting. This is the amount of error proneness that this is. Honestly, it has to do with that we have essentially a VM within a VM, which is also running in a browser tab. Like this, when you do this on your local machine, it's not quite this bad, but in this particular configuration, it's not great. I actually have a blog article on my website. I'll link to it in this video description, where I do the Eternal Blue Room on TryHackMe, and it's quite it's very similar in how bad it actually gets. So
edit multi-line.
What we can do, though, I'm going to try that
out.
We should be able to get a list of folders here, because we just opened up to essentially a command prompt window. So if we do dir here, we should now have a listing of the files. It's very incomplete for what we can see, but we can see
record. Try is 14,000 bullets ZNVDA speech globe. Clip in. DOS 8 bullets. DOS 8 left click. Blank. Notes CC tools. Atchet ZLAN. C drive.
Yeah, that looks right.
C36Z.
So yeah, we have a list on the plan. We have a thing. This plan file it's going to be referring to in a minute is just essentially the instructions for the backup program we're going to have to be using, which is called BU Master or Bum Master, which I find funny. But that's essentially what we're going to have to do soonish. But yeah, we are on the DOS command prompt that we're supposed to be working in, back to the essentially late 80s with this. And let's just see how we do. Okay, we got a cheat sheet. If you are familiar with the command prompt in Windows, DOS should not be too much of a problem for you, because their syntax and commands are the same. However, some utilities are only present on Windows and aren't available on DOS, so we have created a DOS cheat sheet below to help you in this task. Now, I'm already going to tell you, I'm not going to read all of this text, because there's a couple things we just can't really do very easily. And a lot of it is essentially recap, so I may at some point start summarizing instead of reading every word verbatim, just because it's just, we can't really follow along with everything that they're doing anyway, and it would just sort of get boring if I just sit here and read and then say, Yeah, but we can't do that, so we're not going to do it. I will read the majority of the important stuff, though, so let's keep cracking at this and see where I have to pause and stop things. Common DOS commands and utilities. We have CD for change directory, dir for listing all files. That's your ls for Windows, basically. Type is display contents of a file. That's your cat, basically. CLS is clear the screen. Help does what it says. Edit is your editor, like some sort of like precursor to WordPerfect, it looks like. I've actually played with this briefly. And that's it, really. Exploring the past. Let's familiarize ourselves with the commands. Type CLS, then press enter on your keyboard to clear the screen. We'll actually do that to give us a bit more room to work with here. Up. CLS. Boom. Should have worked. I can't verify. On your keyboard to clear the screen. Yeah. Type dir to list down the contents of the current directory. We've already done that. From here, you can see subdirectories and then files along with information such as file size in bytes, creation date, and time. Normally, I would go through all of these with you guys, but I can't. Like, in all seriousness, I just can't do that right now. So, unfortunately, we have to leave possible world building clues behind here. Type followed by the file name to display the contents of the file. For example, type plan.txt to read its content. I will do that, and it's basically just a sort of a man page, like a manual page for how the backup thing works. As far as I'm aware, of AI did, and that's what I got back. Type plan.txt. This I can actually verify if it worked. See if it did.
Speech bullets button click of edit multi-line blank edit multi TryHackMe at HT no next HT bullet prompt and M sub blank click of button up be clickable edit handle 37.7 handle dot D show speech viewer on startup hand third Google IFC menu NGE M6 crowd bless shooting Ernie from concept to code was a roller coaster no the back Ernie from concept to code was a roller coaster of debuggy no the backup master is ready to serve and protect TH and Hardy crafts. If you encounter any issues during the backup or restore processes, ensure to CH. Check the first 2 bytes of the file in question. The first is S. Bytes of the file sig. Nature is not. Backup should read AC dot. If these bytes do, compatible or may be corrupted dot.
Okay, so blank. We get only like the bottom part of this. There's more to this at the top where it says what the tool actually does and how it works. One clue that we didn't get, which is important later, is that the magic bytes for the file should be AC. And what that means, we're going to figure out in a second here because it's going to tell us about it.
Speech mode off.
But that's all we really got from this. Type CD followed by a directory name to change to the current directory. For example, type CD notes to switch to that directory, followed by dir to list the contents. To go back to the parent directory, type CD ... enter. Another image with no alt text, no idea what that says. Finally, type help to list all the available commands. We're not going to be doing that. Traveling back in time. Your goal for this first task is to restore the AC2023.bak file found in the root directory using the backup tool found in the C:/tools/backup directory. Navigate to this directory and run the command bubmaster.exe C:/AC2023.bak to inspect the file. I'm not going to be doing that. Basically, that's going to show us that we can't do it. It's going to throw an error. The output says that you're an error in the file's signature and tells you to check the troubleshooting notes in readme.txt. That's actually in plan.txt. That's wrong, but that's fine. Previously, we used the type command to view the contents of the file. Another option is to use edit readme.txt, which will open a graphical user interface in order to view blah, 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 blah. This will open up the MS-DOS editor's graphical user interface. We will see that in a minute when we have to change stuff, so I'm not going to do that now. Display the contents of the readme.txt file. Use the down arrow and the page down keys to scroll down to the troubleshooting section. Well, it's going to say here what the problem is, so we're not going to be doing that. The troubleshooting section says that the issue we are having is most likely a file signature problem. To exit the edit program, press Alt+F on your keyboard to open the file menu, Option+F if you're on a Mac. Next, use the arrow keys to highlight exit and press enter. What you do essentially is press up and then enter, and that'll close it for people who can't see where exit is. Usually exit is the bottommost option, and in this case that's also true, so that helps us out. Okay. File signature and magic bytes. File signatures, commonly referred to as magic bytes, are specific byte sequences at the beginning of a file that identify, verify its content type and format. So essentially, when you run a file or like print one out, your computer is going to look at those bytes and decide, oh, that's an MP3 file, that's an exe, that's another thing. The file extension doesn't necessarily matter. That's why, for example, on Windows, an EPUB file is basically really just a fancy zip file. If you were to change EPUB to zip, it'll actually open in 7-zip or anything you have, and it'll work just fine. You can actually extract everything in the EPUB to get the HTML files and things. But yeah, the magic bytes are not so easily changed. As we'll see in a second, you can do it, but you usually don't want to. These bytes often have corresponding ASCII characters, allowing for easier human readability when inspected. The identification process helps software applications quickly determine whether a file is in a format they can handle, aiding operational functionality and security measures. In cybersecurity, file signatures are crucial for identifying file types and formats. You'll encounter them in malware analysis, incident response, network traffic inspection, web security checks, and forensics. Knowing how to work with these magic bytes can help you quickly identify malicious or suspicious activity and choose the right tools for deeper analysis. Here is a list of some of the most common files and their magic bytes. So we have a table here with file format, then the bytes, and then the ASCII representation. I'm not going to read the bytes because they're long, nasty hex dump things, but I'm going to read the ASCII representations. PNG is %PNG in caps. GIF is GIF8. Windows executables are MZ. Linux ELF executables are .elf, so .elf. MP3 audio files are ID3. And that's all the ones that they have here. Let's see this in action by creating our own DOS executable. Let's not do that, because that would actually really be annoying. So we're not doing that. Basically what it's doing next is it's talking you through compiling a .c file, like a C programming language file, into an actual exe, which I'm pretty sure just prints hello or something similar to that. And they have you open a file and then compile it and then look at the file, and you'll see that it starts with MZ. That's like their whole thing for this next bit. I'm going to skip past that because we can't really follow along easily. But yeah, just take it from me. There will be an MZ at the beginning of that file, and that'll tell the compiler that it's a Windows executable file. Yeah, there's even screenshots here that show it off, I think. Yeah. Go back to MS-DOS editor window, move your cursor to the first two character, remove... Oh, okay, we're too far down, actually. Hang on, let me scroll up a little bit. Now that you know about magic bytes, let's return to our main task, back to the past. Open AC2023.back using the MS-DOS editor, and to command edit C AC2023.bsc. This we do have to do, because otherwise there is no way to actually run this properly. So I'm going to do that. Where? Oh. Yeah, okay.
Speech edit multi-line.
So we need to edit. We're already in that folder, so that's fine. AC2023.bak. Hopefully this goes right. I'm going to quickly OCR to see if it did go right. Yeah, scroll down. Let's see. I'm cheating a bit and using the Braille display. That's why I'm not having the speech going on all the time. It does help a lot with these kinds of streams, because it's annoying to have two voices jabbering at you. Okay, yeah, I see a whole bunch of gibberish. So right now I'm going to have to do some guessing. I'm going to have to
speech mode deep, speech mode blank.
Basically
blank. Blank.
All the way home.
Blank.
Home.
Blank.
Go 2 characters to the right. Remove the 2 characters. Type a C. Then close the file.
Blank.
And save the file. And if that didn't work, then we're hosed,
Right,
and I have to use the flag that I stole from somewhere else.
Bullet Z and
Let's see what happened.
Blank.
Yeah.
has not been. Y. S. Y as S equals cans I. Has not been. Y S 00 save yet dot. Save it now. Enter equals yes. Q search. N. INT 9 12 12 12 12 slash 5 slash edit multi-line blank.
It says enter equals yes, so I'll just press enter a couple times.
Try test no contain bracket bullet ZNV. Try test no containing object. Recognizing. Efforts S. Bytes of nature. Does not. Backup should read if these bytes to compatible restore and time 9 12 12 slash 12 9 INN. File 0 Q search. Likely match. Not. XZZ33 dot back. Restore and conquer. Compatible or may be corrupted dot. If these should read backup is not nature. Bytes S. Effort. Exit if you link out.
Yeah, that looks like the cat we did before. So now we have to go find that tool. And hope that we did it right. So actually, you have to go look up what the path to that was. It was like C colon backslash something.
Caps lock off. Blank.
C colon backslash.
Backup tool found in the C tools backup directory.
Team tools backup. Okay, so we have to go to C tools.
Space slash safe space. Team try. Blank. Edit multi-line. Edit multi.
CD C backslash tools backslash backup. And then we have to do bummaster C backslash AC 2023.bak and hope for the best.
Try no containing of recognizing result ZNV check. Troubleshooting. Check 00 file signature. In. Error. Could not be read. File. C sac Z3 dot back. File could not error. In. Files 0 Z check. Troubleshooting. Notes. Readme.txt. Q search. In.
Okay, it does look like we didn't properly save the file. We'll try it one more time. Edit AC 2023.bak.
Blank.
AC.
Blank.
Close. Yes. I cannot see what I'm typing. I cannot see anything of what I'm currently doing. So if this doesn't work, then well, we'll just act like it did work. Let's see what it says this time.
Try test no containing record bullet ZNV no can record D show speech viewer on name 30 Google right parenthesis L error C sac Z3 dot file signature.
Okay, yeah, it just won't let me properly change it. Something is going wrong, and I can't really debug what's going on. So we are going to have to, you know, say like we did it, and then just hope that the answers that I do have are correct. Okay. The output says there is an error. Yeah, we did that. We changed it. We tried to change it to AC. I'm pretty sure that was correct. And if it wasn't, then I'm doing something wrong, but I'm pretty sure I did not do something wrong. At least I tried to do it right. Let's see an action back. Yeah, we did that bit. Scroll. And we just scrolled up a bit for some reason. Okay. Now fixed. Okay. Choose the first two characters, remove XX and replace it with AC. I did that. At least I tried to do that. So this is one of those same as day 2 where I said I was going to do it and it didn't work. But yeah, that's what I would have done. I would have moved to the third character, remove the first two XXs, put AC there, and then save it. And for some reason, whatever keystrokes I'm using isn't letting me do that. I'm not super sure why. Maybe I'm doing the wrong thing. Maybe I'm typing in the wrong place or something. It's really hard to figure out when you literally can't see where I'm going and what I'm typing. So, yeah, we do have a flag that I grabbed from another place in case this would happen, which I sort of expected to do. This is an interesting one for me as a streamer and like content creator. Like on the one hand, I want to show the struggles, but I also want to make sure we end up in in a victorious position. So I sort of have to cheat and make sure that I do have the answers in case we get stuck. Good job, exclaims Frosto, patting you on your back. He pulls the backup tapes out from the computer and gives it to another elf. Give this to McSkitty. Stat. As the unsuspecting elf hurries out of the room, the giant snowman turns around and hunches back down beside you. Since we already have the computer turned on, let's see what else is in here. What's inside that games directory over there? Answer the questions below. Well, I can't find that out, so yeah. The questions are in order. How large in bytes is the AC2023.bak file? Now, when I did this earlier, I ran the dir command like I did before, and it was probably very visible, but not for me. I checked on, I used the AI to actually ask what the number visible was, and it said 12.748. Let's see if that is correct. It is not. That is helpful.
Speech button submit. S. Answer format stars. Speech mode off.
Then we're going to see if we can get the right answer. Okay, we need to go back to here. Dear. We're going to grab my AI real quick. And the prompt will be, what is the size of the .bak file? Should be able to tell me. Unless it just scrambles and it just can't keep track. Let's see what it does. Entire screen. Boop. Let us see what it says. The image you provided shows a command line interface with directory listing, but there is no .bak file displayed. Is this okay? The files listed are, oh, I never changed the directory. Okay. So apparently we're not in the right place. That is easy enough to solve. We go here.
Speech edit multi-line. Edit multi.
CD. Oh, I can just, actually I can just do CD ... Let's show that off. There we go. Here. Now can
context
you tell
current entire screen. Retrieving this HTTPS.
I was looking at the speech window. There's a YouTube link that keeps coming up for some reason. That's on the report. The operation
context
timed out.
current entire screen.
It's always happens when I'm trying to do a stream or a video recording. Come on.
Image description. The image you provided displays a computer terminal with a directory listing, but there is a specific .back file shown with a size listing in the given information. The .back file typically represents a backup file, but to provide the size, the listing would need to include a file with a .back extension along with its size. The information visible on the screen doesn't file, so it is not possible to file. So it is not possible to
You're
tell
not wrong.
Try https://w blank edit multi-line blank.
Why is it
blank edit multi-line blank?
Doing what I want. It's very annoying. Oh. Let's see there. Before I do it again, let me just OCR to make sure that we actually have the right thing in view. The struggles of a blind hacker trying to do a DOS thing. All right, let's see. Yeah, this looks right. Okay, so
beeps.
It really should work this time. Like I can see it there on the OCR result, so it should find it now. It should find it just fine. Another error. Wonderful. OpenAI is flaky this week. I've been noticing it ever since that whole like soap opera from last week. The size is 12.704. Okay, not 748, but 704. Okay.
Speech mode off. Speech image description. Image. Try blank edit multi-line.
We'll go here and try that number. Not 748, but 704.
TryHackMe advent of Cyber 2023 document. How large? And I answer the question. How answer button unavailable. Correct answer.
That's the correct answer. Hooray.
Speech mode off.
12,704 is the correct answer. What is the name of the backup program? It wants the entire... What? It's not that long. What is the name of the backup program? It's Bum Master, but it's way too many asterisks here. What's the hint say? Check readme.txt. Oh god, okay. Is it like backup master 3000? Or just backup master? Shit. Gonna have to find that readme file. Oh god, okay. Is that in here? I think that might be in here.
Speech edit multi.
Type readme.txt.
Speech mode.
See what it says. Whoosh.
Speech mode off.
Let's see. Do we get anything? No, it's not in here. Is it in? Wait, actually, I have an idea. I might have this somewhere else noted down here. Backup master 3000. Yeah, so backup master with capital B, capital M. I'm wondering if it's complaining about the fact that I didn't put capitals. How many characters do we need? 1, 2. BACKUPMASTER space 3000. Yeah, okay, that's correct. Back up master 3000. Yes, okay, that's the right answer. Backup master capital B capital M space 3000. All right. What should the correct bytes be in the backup's file signature to restore the backup properly? That should be the letters A, C. Oh. Well, I think we just figured out why it didn't work. Apparently that's incorrect. Oh, does it want to, hang on. It wants the actual ASCII bytes. Hang on, let me look those up. I have to scroll up for that because that's up here somewhere. Okay. Yeah. Just pretty quickly. Now that you know about magic bytes, back to the XX. According to the troubleshoot, we've released the magic bytes file to be 4143. I hope that's the right numbers. Let's see, 4143 should be correct. They are very wonderful. And now the coup de grace. What is the flag? Did I do this right, I wonder? Because I don't think I did. Let's find out. I'm gonna just paste it, and if it's correct, I will read it out loud with gusto. Oh, I did it right. Beautiful. So, hold on to your butts. This is an interesting one. Capital T, capital H, capital M, left brace, 0, small l, small d, underscore, 5, small c, small h, double O, so twice 0, small l, underscore, small c, OO as in the number, small l, underscore, small d, OO again, and then the capital D. So essentially old school cool dude with dude with O's instead of UD. It's a doozy. And then the right brace to finish it off. Usually like the regular THM things. And with that, we did manage it. Like, this was not fun accessibility wise, and honestly I can't blame them. I don't want to be that person that's like, people can't have nice things because they can't be made accessible. The one accessibility tip for TryHackMe I would give for this particular video is please make sure that these VMs have an audio device to speak through. There's really literally no reason for them not to have one. Like, sometimes I encounter people who tell me, well, this is how it works in the real world. No. Practically every, let's see, consumer device will have a proper sound card to work with these days. It's very rare, unless you're working on some kind of server, that there's no audio whatsoever. And I'll absolutely agree that it's not very sneaky to have a computer talk at you in the middle of the night, although that would, you know, be very nice on Hollywood hackery. But just outright not having one is just very unrealistic, and competitors like Hack the Box don't do this either. They have proper sound working, and it helps with these kinds of things a tiny bit, because at that point when you're OCRing your your screen, you can do it from within the guest, as it were, which probably means you have far fewer artifacts to work with than you do when you do it over a browser RDP or VNC connection. So please fix that, guys. That's not necessary for that to be that bad. Apart from that, this was a fun challenge, honestly. Sure, not very accessible in the old implementation, but I really can't expect that to be a thing. I'm just glad we managed it, honestly, guys. This was good. This was fun. And yeah, with that, I finished the final question and we're done with this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope it was educational and fun. And I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.